Hello, in this video I am going to create a fractions wall. So you will need a glue stick, a pair of scissors, a pencil, and you will need the 4 strips of paper from your learning pack. We will be learning about halves, quarters, eighths, sixths, and thirds. So get ready to do some folding. I'm going to start with my red bar, and you could call it a bar of chocolate or you could just call it a strip of paper. First of all, I'm going to fold it in half, and I want to actually create quarters. So I need to bring this end in to the middle and unfold it and bring this end in to the middle fold. There I have got 4 equal pieces and they are all 1/4. So I will cut them and glue them in at the top. There we go. I've cut them, I've glued them in, and they are all 1/4. They are all 1 part of 4. Next, I'm going to use my yellow strip, and from this I'm going to create eighths. So I've got 1 yellow bar, and I'm going to cut it equally into 8 parts. So if you cut 1/4 in half, you will get an eighth. Because if you cut all of these quarters in half, you will have 8 pieces. So I'm doing just what I did before. First, I am creating quarters. Then I'm going to cut them. And now that I've cut them, you can see I've made quarters. And if I fold each one in half and cut it, that will make 2/8. So fold each one in half, cut them, and glue them on. So I've cut and glued 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 eighths. These are all 1/8. So you can label yours as well. Now I can see that 1/4 is the same size, it's the same width as 1/4 is the same width as 2 of these eighths. So I can write down 1/4 is equal to 2/8. That means that they are essentially the same size. If I eat 1/4 of a chocolate bar, and if you eat 2/8 of a chocolate bar, we've both eaten the same amount. What is 2/4 the same as? 2/4 is the same as 4/8. Let's write that down. 2/4 is the same as 4/8. What are 3/4 the same as? 3/4 are the same as 2, 4, 6 eighths. 3/4 are the same as 6 eighths. And 4/4 are the same as 8 eighths. 4/4 are the same as 8 eighths. And that is the same as 1 of these bars, because it took 8 of these bars to make 1 strip. Okay, Now I am going to use my orange strip to make thirds. Now it's kind of tricky to make thirds. I have to do a little bit of estimating. I'm cutting it into 3 parts. I'm going to fold it until I think that this looks equal on each side. I'm just going to use my eye. You could use a ruler to measure, but I think that these are 2 equal sizes. Let's have a look. Just for, oh no, not really. Maybe now. You might like to have someone help you do this at home. There we go. Look, it's a Z. It's a Z. Or a number 2. Number 2. So that is how you make thirds. Fold one side in until each side is equal, and then you'll have 3 equal parts. Cut it and glue it on. Right, so here we can see 3 equal parts. This is 1/3, this is 1/3, and this is 1/3 here. You can see that 1/3 is the largest fraction here. These orange parts, these thirds, are bigger than quarters. 1/3 is bigger than 1/4. And 1/3 is also bigger than 1/8. 1/3 is bigger than 2/8 as well. So now I'm going to use my last strip and I'm going to make sixths. So I'm going to first of all make thirds, just as I did before. And I'm going to, I have 3 equal parts. I'm going to cut them out. And after cutting them out, I'm going to fold each one in half and cut again to create 6 equal parts. Here I have sixths, 6 equal parts. Each one is called 1/6. Okay, and we can see that 2/6 are the same size as 1/3. So I'm going to write 2/6 is the same as 1/3. How many sixths are the same as 2/3? 4/6 and 2/3. 4/6 are the same as 2/3. And you might be able to identify a pattern when looking at these fractions. These are called equivalent fractions, all of these. Equivalent means equal or the same. 3/4 and 6/8. What is the pattern between these 3 and 6, 4 and 8? What is the pattern between 2 and 1 and 6 and 3? You have a look carefully and think about what you notice. And then I want you to write some more equations just like this, showing equivalent fractions. Something else you might like to do is use the greater than and less than symbols. So greater than. I know that 3/4 is greater than 1/4. And we can see that 3/4 is greater than 1/4. And 1/3 is larger than 1/8. Wonder if you can complete these ones. 1/6 and 1/3. 1/6 is greater than or less than 1/3? 1/6 and 1/3. Have a think. What about 1/8 and 1/3? Which is larger? Which is smaller? What about 2/6 and 4/8? Let's have a look. 1/6 and 1/3. 1/6 is smaller than 1/3. 1/6 is smaller than 1/3. 1/8 and 1/3. 1/8 is here and 1/3. 1/8 is smaller than 1/3. 1/8 is less than 1/3. And the last one, 2/6 and 4/8. 2/6 is two of these, and 4/8 is four of these. So 4/8 is larger. 2/6 is smaller than 4/8. Right, I hope you have enjoyed making your fractions wall and understand a little bit more about fractions.